from a deeply internal place of, I respect myself and I carry the lineage of probably not only my mother being this amazing woman, but probably so many other women before her who didn't claim their rightful greatness. When you are the cycle breaker of your family, there will always be a tension within your relationship with your mother, the mother wound of the cycle breaker. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. Today I met my mother, and it was, I feel, the last conversation that needed to be had before I am now fully in my sovereign womanhood, no longer being treated by her as her child in terms of that I had to fulfill something for her, or that she could project on me, or that she could emotionally manipulate me, or that she could even hold me down in my mindset. I've just come back from an event in LA, and one of this teacher's main framework, or what she likes to speak about, is the mother wound. And the mother wound could look like a woman that is meant to be the cycle breaker, that is meant to be the one who becomes the first in her bloodline to be a sovereign woman, to be emotionally sovereign, because sovereignty always begins as an independent thinker, especially as a emotionally liberated, free, sovereign woman, not being codependent on emotions, on validation, right? And then from this level of emotional sovereignty, you create financial and physical sovereignty. So that wound of the mother wound is most likely for the woman that is called to step into her power. The last cord, literally the last and the fundamental and the root cord that needs to be cut, the umbilical cord between you and the bloodline of the feminine. Because also, as we know, that is that the bloodline truly goes through the woman, right? Humanity is matriarchal. That's just biological fact. Because I think that's the thing, our egg, the egg that became us, like this generation alive, has already been present in the womb of our grandmothers, something like that, or maybe even longer before, right? But something like that. And this level of vibrational inheritance is the cycle breaking. So, with that being said, cutting the last cord between you and your mother, meaning practical, you no longer needing the validation from your mother or hearing your mother's voice in terms of the way you live your life, being a beautiful woman, being a selfish woman, being a powerful woman, being a woman who chooses to not fall victim to the patriarchal, self deprecating, self hating, not falling into, yeah, limiting beliefs and self doubt and worry and fear and self hate, because so many women have been programmed like this, right? And that's not, I'm not saying that to blame or shame anyone, but that has been the program. And cutting cords and becoming the sovereign woman and breaking cycles is all about liberating your mind and your system, your body, and your lifestyle from the program, the matrix, patriarchy, racism, and class, right? Because you're now, no, I'm worthy, I'm divine, I am here, I am gifted, I am going to pour everything I need into myself. I'm going to look at my family patterns and I am going to say, my needs weren't met. I have identified my needs, and I am going to make sure that I am meeting my needs, and all of the people that are reintroduced or newly introduced into my life have to fit certain criteria, because I have to make sure that I live in an environment that gives me the best possibility to bloom, right? That is the sovereign woman, the woman who makes her own rules in her own life, all right? So, with that being said, I had a conversation with my mom today, and it was the last of these conversations. I have been going through suppressing my needs, then realizing that I had needs that weren't met, then going through cycles of blaming and sadness and grief and blaming and being overly sensitive, and again understanding my mother too. A big part of me has always been too much understanding for everyone else, but I had to come into a place where I could finally be like, I have needs too, and I need them met. Otherwise, I am going to be depleted, right? Emotionally unfulfilled means emotionally depleted. I am not getting anything from others, and I cannot let that continue. So I had to step into me saying, I have needs and I deserve to have them fulfilled. So that cycle has been going on from the trigger ping pong, as some people like to say it, right? Like I was feeling unappreciated, and then I blamed my mother, then I understood her again. So there was a time of the trigger ping pong and coming into a place of I am good. Like I am full. I am replenished. I have given myself enough grief and time to process it, and being open and honest with myself, what I needed, and also having a time of distance and be like, you cannot meet my needs. So I need some time to fully focus on myself, and also coming to the place of I don't blame you because I see you. And everything that we're now doing from today on is continuing to cultivate the relationship on a healthy foundation. No longer what I said as the mother daughter relationship, in terms of me being still like a needing version of myself, the inner child. I am now parenting my inner child, right? The inner child, the inner teenager, and then the inner woman. I see this as a threefold thing. And I am now taking care of my inner child. So I no longer need my mother to take care of my inner child. Now it's a relationship from, frankly, woman to woman. Of course, giving her all the respect for raising me, and also all the respect for, of course, her being older than me and having like accomplished many things, right? So, not to discredit my respect and my reverence for my mother, but I am now a sovereign woman, and I know what it feels like to be a woman in this world. So I know how hard it can be to liberate yourself, right? To be in your emotional sovereignty with men, with the system, with the money, everything. I hope you understand. I'm spilling all the things, but I know how hard it is, and to find the balance and to be emotionally savvy and to communicate right and all of that. So I see her. I see the bloodline, the matriarchy, the lineage. I see one big thing I want to share. I see that my mother has already been a huge cycle breaker of her lineage, because my mom is a white woman and she married and had a family and children with a black man. And through her choice, she lost a lot of other people and her sister. So my mom took a big leap for her choices. So I respect her for that. And there were so many things that I respect her for. So, yeah, it's an open reflection. And as I said, today was the day of me being okay, I am no longer a child. I'm stopping any kind of blame. The grief is over. I have grieved what I didn't get as a child, but I'm a 36-year-old young woman, and it is time for me to be emotionally sovereign and mature. So it has been the day of stepping fully into friendship with my mother, seeing from eye to eye, if you can say that, as a woman, from woman to woman, and starting a mutually loving and giving reciprocal relationship of fairness, right? Where I give and she gives, and I get and she gets. So, yeah, that was a very beautiful, quiet, not dramatic, nothing like ta-da, just two women loving each other. I've always loved my mom. Um, yeah, but this time on a mature level. I truly feel like I have become my dream woman, and it has been a rough and tough, hey, rough and tough journey to get here. And as I'm saying that, like my body hurts. Like I have pain, like an old woman. I think I'm getting a cold, but literally my body feels like I have been doing some work, deep work. I feel pain like a day of physical labor. So, yeah, if you are still on your healing journey, of your cycle breaker journey, if you are at the beginning, in the middle, let me tell you, because I've been at some really dark places, I can tell you the dark places and the times where you really feel like, where is the spark? Where is God? Where is the joy? Where is the light? What am I doing? Is this worth it? Is there going to be people that I can trust? Where are the resources? Where is my money? Where are the people that bring me love? Huge resource. Where are the opportunities that see me, that reciprocate me, that pay me, but really see and respect me for who I am and what I bring? Where is all of that in the darkness? If you're asking yourself this, let me tell you, continue. Please continue. Give yourself grace and give other people grace too, because this life is truly a rough and tough, truly rough and tough. The mother wound gets healed by you looking back and seeing what your inner child didn't get, what your younger versions didn't get, what your inner teenager didn't get, and you becoming the woman that reparents herself, that gives it to herself with, and that's a big one for me. My advice is to get mentorship, is to get coaching, to get healing, to go into community, to learn from older women, to be in community with other women, maybe just one person. I am actually not a huge fan of big groups. I'm not. I'm a fan of deep, intimate, maybe one-on-one relationships. And then groups can be good for just a feeling of belonging, but that could also be a little bit more anonymous. But I don't want to go too deep into the levels of community, but I definitely want to let you know that one of the biggest things in order to heal the mother wound is to actually also get some mothering from other women, from mentors, from teachers, from older sisters, from people who you feel drawn to, and that could be me too. I have been a coach. I believe that I have had a little bit of a co-mom role in the lives of my mentees. Yeah, even though I am a quite young woman, but I truly believe that I have the mother energy, and I feel definitely called to be a mother for the collective that I'm speaking to. Um, yeah, so your mother wound truly gets healed when you see other women and you connect to other women who are giving you the permission to be all of who you are, and also the things that your mother didn't teach you, that your mother didn't embody, especially in terms of selfishness, right? Because that's a huge thing for women in general, because women have been brainwashed collectively to be only the caregiver, to deplete themselves, to see their worth as only giving without the demand of being replenished emotionally, financially. Right? We see that topic all over the internet in the past years. Women asking for money, becoming gold diggers, yeah, just being emotionally replenished by their men, and not only being the well that can be sucked dry. No, 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 no. And most of the time, our women, our mothers gave us this example. To my mother was my deepest, deepest inspiration of my personal healing journey and transformational journey. When I saw my mother, because my mama, yes, I'm German, so I say mama when I speak to her mama. My mama is a very smart, brilliant, resourceful woman. Like, she is a mother too. My mom is a Cancer as well, just like me. And my mother is smart. She has been in leadership in her job. She is a mother. She is caring. She is nurturing. She loves to cook and to bake, and she does it exquisitely. Um, she is like, she works with plants. Oof, my mom has so many qualities that I personally love and admire. She's good with finances. My mom, she does it all. Like, she is superwoman. And because I've seen it, and when I branched out into the world and saw other mothers, I was like, my mom is very good, a good one. Um, but now here comes the point. I feel like with everything she is and everything she knows, she's a gem. She's a resource. She's rich. She never has fully owned it. I feel like her not actively sharing herself with the world, maybe even having her own YouTube channel, is a disservice to humanity, because this woman, again, as I said, she's brilliant. And because I saw that in her, and I identified that she didn't see herself like that. And she was playing way too nice, way too humble. For all of who she is, I felt like, what the fuck? That is a thing. And then I started seeing that in so many other women. And then I realized this is a collective thing, that there are so many amazing powerhouse women who are not stepping into their rightful position. And I decided then that I refuse to let that be me, that I will claim my power. I will stand for mutual, reciprocal relationships, that a man needs to give me my reparations, if you so will, as a Black woman, as a woman, right, as the divine feminine, that there needs to be a whole lot of balance, if at all, in a relationship with a man. That I wasn't going to back down on my demeanor, who I am, my confidence, coming from a deeply rooted source of self worth, not from pretending or not from playing or like masking. No. So, yeah, I made it my life decision and my point to be, no, you got to give me my respect. I don't care if you don't like me or whatnot. Like, I am the wisdom carrier of my lineage. What's up? And my mom, she reminded me that women are playing far too small and they don't really see themselves. And I have the gift of sight. of seeing, of feeling, of hearing, all of it. I'm clear everything. And I see greatness. And I also see when people dim their light because of the system. Let's just call it that, right? So, yeah, my mother gave me everything that I needed. She gave me her as the role model. She gave me her as also the not role model in terms of not fully claiming her power and shining her brilliance and owning her desires. She didn't own her desires all the way. So I make it my point whenever I see that in my mother and also in other women, I double down on it. I make it a point to be reminded for me that, girl, claim it. You see in other people when they're lying to themselves, don't lie to yourself. Claim your desire, claim your greatness, claim what you truly know, not from a place of, again, extra bravado. No, that's not me. Like, I don't like to play fake confidence because that's just not me. It's cool. Sometimes maybe you got to do it, right? But I don't really like it. But from a true place of integrated, embodied knowing that what I carry is more than enough. And I don't have to prove it, it's just the way it is. Like my mom was my deepest inspiration of my feminine healing, of healing my mother wound, but of healing the feminine collective in terms of all of the limitations that women have been putting on themselves, but most of all, that society has put on women. And my mom was a good example for greatness, as I said, and also for not believing in herself. And it bothered me so much because I always see when people are great and I tell them, but if they don't do anything with it, I get mad. So I made it my point to be the one who does it. So yeah, if you want to have some guidance on your journey, I'm here for it, right? So yeah, if you feel called, just let me know. And yeah, with that being said, you are a force of nature, and I want to see you act like it. And now you know why, right? So do it.